Hello, my dear girls. How are you? Welcome to E-Classroom of English of Sacred Heart School, Bulandshahr. This is Harpreet Kaur, and today we are going to read a very adventurous story. Yes, Around the World in 80 Days. It's an extract from Around the World in 80 Days, which is a classic adventure novel written by French writer Jules Verne, and it was published in 1873. So, before reading this story, let me tell you it's just an extract. Extract means it's just a part of that novel. So, the entire story is not being covered in this video. We are covering only that much part which is in your syllabus. So, let's begin with the story. So before beginning with this chapter, we must know the story so far. अब तक की कहानी क्या थी? We must know that. So the story begins on 2 October 1872 in England, and there was a wealthy Englishman named as Phileas Fogg, and he was living a very happy life but a lonely life. That means there was nobody in his family, and he was having a French manservant. His name was Jean Passepartout, and they were sitting in a reform club. You can see they are sitting in a club type area. Okay, so that club is named as Reform Club, and they all were discussing about the robbery. Which robbery? Yes, there was a robbery in Bank of England in which £55,000 was stolen. It's a big amount. So they all were discussing about that robbery. एक डाका डल गया था एक बैंक में, बैंक ऑफ इंग्लैंड में. About £55,000 were stolen, and they all were discussing about that same thing. And at the same time, Fogg discusses about the advancement of transportation, कि आजकल transportation system कितना advance हो गया है. So robbers get easy chance to rob the amount or stole the amount and just run away quickly. And suddenly the discussions changes, and they say he says that Phileas Fogg says that he can get around the world in 80 days. उसने challenge किया अपने दोस्तों को that he can move around the world, पूरे वर्ल्ड को 80 डेज में घूमकर आ सकता है. बट द क्लब मेंबर्स वे नॉट रेडी टू एक्सेप्ट दैट. उन्होंने उसका मजाक बनाया. फाइनली दे हैड अ बेट. उनकी शर्त लग गई ऑफ £20,000 दैट ही कैन नॉट डू दैट. ओके, so Fogg accepts that bet, and this is how the story begins. This epic story, the historical story, or you can say the journey begins from here. एंड एट 8:45 यानी कि रात के 8:45 फॉग और उसका जो सर्वेंट था पासेपाटाउट, दे सेट आउट फ्रॉम लंदन से चल पड़े बाय अ ट्रेन on adventurous journey. Then they had the ship also, a very big ship cruise was there in their journey, and they set out for their journey. And how the detective Fix from Scotland follows him nahi, both of them, you can say, the Passepartout, the servant also, and Phileas Fogg. How the story changes the direction, entire thing will be seen. So this is the scene of that club which I told you. Now they both have started. The world tour begins here, and they decided that they will be coming back exactly after 80 days, or you can say within 80 days, and they started for their world tour. See, they were enjoying so much, and they were enjoying their cruise also. Now comes the discussion of Mongolia. Mongolia is a steamer which belongs to the Peninsular and Oriental Company, and it is built of iron which weighs 2,800 tons, and it has 500 horsepower, and it was due at 11 o'clock on Wednesday 9th of October at Suez. Suez is the place where they were going to land. Okay, so this is that ship in which they were traveling. Now the discussion is going on about that ship, that it flies regularly from Brindisi and Bombay. इतना इसका रूट होता था. It travel between these two areas, and there at the Suez, which I am telling you, this place where they were going to land, जहाँ पर वो पहुँचने वाले थे, जिस place पर, that is Suez. There two men were moving here and there, roaming here and there, and waiting for something. One, you can see, one was having a very face, having curious face, and having a doubt of seeing everyone's face, like सबकी eyebrows, सबकी faces, सबको चेक करना, because he was having that habit only. He was just having that sign of impatience, nervously watching each and every passenger going from there, every person from there. Why they were waiting? Yes, this was detective. This person you can see in a big hat. Okay, this was Mr. Fix, the detective, as I told you earlier, the detective from Scotland Yard. He believes that some or the other passengers who are coming in this Mongolia steamer is the robber. Yes, is the person who is being responsible for that robbery of 55,000 pounds जो चोरी हुई थी, डकैती डली थी बैंक में. उसे ये believe था Mr. Fix को that some or the other coming in this steamer only is being the गिल्ट, जो भी है वो गिल्ट इसी में ही आ रहा है. सो ही वॉज जस्ट वेटिंग with that hope, and he was also expecting with the splendid reward which he would get after the prize of success, क्योंकि उसे पता था अगर उसने इस चोर को पकड़ लिया he will get a very big amount of, yes, prize of success. So he waited with a feverish, you can say impatience. Feverish means a very excitement that yes, he can do it, and he will search and he will got that robber. Now they were just eagerly waiting, and one another person is also with him who was just assisting him in that case of robbery. So they were eagerly waiting and they were just watching time again and again that why the ship is late. But the other person replied that the ship is not late, it's already, the time is not there, and already we are before time. And this ship is famous for coming, or you can say reaching before time. Now, the other person who was standing with Mr. Fix says that how could you recognize that man in such a big ship? It's such a big steamer. Mongolia, as I told you, it's very, very much famous. It carries thousands of passengers. How you will recognize that person, that fellow? What was the reply of Mr. Fix? You want to know? Yes, he says a man rather feels the presence of these fellow counsel than recognizing them. उसके चेहरे पर नहीं लिखा, but it is, you must have the scent of that person. उसकी खुशबू तुम्हें समझ में आ जानी चाहिए. It is the sixth sense which combines with our sense, and we come to know that yes, this is the person who is being responsible for that robbery, and I hope that I will be able to find that person. And the another person replied that yes, it's a very heavy robbery. Yes, he said it's a very big robbery, it's about 55,000 pounds. Now comes the turn. Yes, the waiting is over. The ship arises at the stop, that is Suez, and thousands of passengers, a crowd of passengers came down of that ship. Some of the passengers got down and they entered their boats, moving toward their areas. But some, they were very much eager and conscious to take photographs and selfies as they have reached Suez for the first time. So everyone was having their own criteria. But here, Mr. Fix was getting more and more conscious, and he asked his partner about how long will the Suez stop at this place, that is Suez. यहाँ पर जो मंगोलिया शिप है वो कितनी देर तक रुकेगी? What was the reply? It will wait for 4 longs because it has to do a lot of works. It has long enough to get in the coal also. It is 1310 miles from Suez to Aden and the other end of the Red Sea. So 4 hours are not less. That means Mr. Fix was having enough time to got hold of that robber. Now Mr. Fix started and took the position, and he carefully examined each and every face, each and every figure which made its appearance. जो उसके पास symptoms थे, उसके पास जितने भी proofs थे कि हाँ हाँ ये body figure है उसका. So he was just trying to match with every passengers very carefully, keenly. He was observing every passenger. हर एक को पैसेंजर को ऑब्जर्व करने लगा. ठीक है. Presently what happened, one of the passengers, you can see one of the passengers standing with him, and he was coming towards him only. He came towards him, and what happened, he asked about some area. जैसे एड्रेस पूछता है ना जब हम कोई न्यू प्लेस पे जाते हैं, यू यूज टू आस्क सम एड्रेस इफ़ यू कुड पॉइंट सम एरिया. सो ही जस्ट आस्क इफ़ यू कुड पॉइंट आउट द इंग्लिश कंसुलेट. एट द सेम टाइम इट ऑल्सो शोड द पोस्ट का पासपोर्ट ऑल्सो. उसने अपना पासपोर्ट भी दिखा दिया. एंड उस पासपोर्ट को देखते ही मिस्टर फिक्स वॉज हैविंग ग्रेट सरप्राइज. because the description in the passport was identical, or you can say the same as that of the bank robber. जो भी उसे बैंक रॉबर के डिस्क्रिप्शन मिला था स्कॉटलैंड यार्ड से, it was same in the passport. So he was doubtful that the same person is guilty. वही रॉबर है. So he asked that person, is this your passport? But he replied, no, it is not my passport, it is my master's passport. That means he was passepartout. Jean passepartout. So he asked, where is your master? He said he stayed on the board. वो भी तो board पे ही है. So must he go to the council in person so as to establish his identity? तो उन्होंने कहा that he has to go to the council in person. ऑफिस में जाना पड़ेगा उन्हें कुछ identity checkup के लिए checking के लिए. Oh, is it necessary? Jean Passepartout ने पूछा. Yes, it is necessary and it is quite indispensable and compulsory. So he asked, where is the address? Means where is the consulate जहाँ पे हमें जाना है अपने master को लेके. Where is that place? Oh, that is in the corner, said Mr. Fix, and it was approximately 200 steps away from that area where they were standing. जहाँ वो खड़े हुए थे उससे सिर्फ 200 कदम आगे था. So he said, okay, I'll go to my master, Mr. Phileas Fogg, and ask him to go to the consulate. I know he'll not be pleased, he will not be happy, उनका मन नहीं होगा आने का, but however I have to disturb him. मुझे जाना होगा. Then the passenger bowed to Mr. Fix and he returned to the steamer. This is how the inquiry started, and he reached to the office. That is Mr. Phileas Fogg, Mr. Fix, and Jean's Passepartout. All were sitting, and the inquiry of the consulate started. So, hope you have enjoyed this much part, or you can say this much extract of the story Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. Do watch this video more and more times to get more, or you can say best out of it. And definitely do watch further videos also to know more about this story, that what happened after this. Till then, bye bye. Thank you. Take care.